Regardless of where you live in the world, you've most likely dealt with this issue before from coworkers, family members, or friends. But what is it, and how can we avoid getting pulled into this lazy mindset? Well, in no particular order of importance, here are my top 5 reasons why people can't stop, won't stop, but should stop procrastinating. Number 1, comparing themselves to others. In the age of information and social media, this has got to be the best way to not become the best version of yourself. Everything that you don't have can easily be seen online from someone else within seconds. There is always going to be someone better looking, with a better physique, with more money, etc. Of course, this is assuming that what you're looking at is actually real and not fake. Just because someone is further along than you in certain departments does not mean they're gifted in everything they do. In reality, they're probably more of a liability than an asset in more areas than they'd like to admit. Remember, the system shows you what it wants you to see via its programming, and your mind automatically fills in the remaining gaps to reach a conclusion based on your current level of understanding. So unless you're a celebrity or running a business, I don't think the average person should be spending much time on social media, because the same amount of time and energy could be spent doing something productive than seeking validation from strangers online. Number 2, thinking more about the past than the future. Maybe I'll start next week. Why did I say that? How could she do that to him? The list goes on and on. Since we can't change the past, the smarter thing to do is learn from it and avoid making the same mistakes. Getting caught up in drama and gossip will severely slow down progress if you're not careful. We've all heard the phrase knowledge is power, but without action, knowledge is only potential power. Knowledge without action is meaningless. When it comes to goal setting, properly applied knowledge will keep you moving in a positive direction. It will take some time and practice to learn how to correctly filter information, but the main point here is that holding on to past emotions that aren't adding value to your life isn't helping anyone. These emotions can easily turn into resentment towards yourself or others. Bad thoughts keep us in a perpetual state of complacency, and if you're not positively changing year after year, then you aren't growing as a person. You're becoming overly comfortable, consistently getting more of the same results. That's the kind of consistency you don't want to have. When it comes to goal setting while avoiding procrastination, it's best to keep looking forward. Number 3, no sense of urgency. If your calendar or list of chores isn't full, you are leaving the door wide open for procrastination. Because most people don't think about time in the way I do, they remain willfully ignorant and are totally unprepared during a time of uncertainty or emergency situation. If the bad habits and lack of discipline continue, it's just going to be more of the same until you eventually reach a place of disgust with whatever is holding you back. It could be losing weight, finding that relationship, or moving into that new house. Reject all excuses that enter your mind and focus on the bigger picture. Curiosity can keep you moving, but righteous anger will keep you committed to your goals. There must be some emotional trigger being pulled, and anger towards a specific situation seems to be the most effective form of motivation in my opinion. A sense of urgency should always be present with you, because time is something we can't get back. Start working towards your goal today, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. No one ever achieved anything noteworthy by living cautiously, because there are no calculated risks involved. This is why superhero movies are so popular. If the main character stayed average from start to finish, no one would pay to see it. I think it's because deep down we all know we could be doing more than just showing up for work on time for a paycheck. Number 4, seeking instant gratification. Or I could have said reacting based on emotions, because they are basically the same thing. Most people do not understand time management and will choose the path of least resistance, thinking it will make their lives easier because they lack patience. For example, using technology to save time. To a certain degree, yes, it will if used correctly. It's one thing to take advice from people more experienced than us, but eventually we must apply the information into action, or we'll continue to get more of the same results, accomplishing very little for ourselves, thus wasting more time. Positive thinking is beneficial, but it's no substitute for taking action. It's easy to feel like we've accomplished something after reading a book or watching inspirational videos, but these are just tools to help us make better decisions. Eventually, we must use what we've learned. If you vicariously live through other people, you are self-sabotaging your dreams from the start. It's easier to hate on someone because it doesn't require any effort or personal sacrifices. By default, it doesn't require much energy. However, the other half will be inspired to improve their lifestyle because they see a part of themselves within the speaker. This side requires an extreme amount of energy and self-discipline. Most people will choose the path of least resistance, following the latest trend without question because it requires the least amount of energy, time, and thought. Number 5. Setting unrealistic goals. Don't even get me started on how many people I know personally that fall into this category. They love to talk about improving themselves or becoming an asset to those around them, but hesitate to make it happen. They purposely set the bar so high that there's no way possible they could ever achieve the goal in their current position, which is the point of the whole thing. They have no intentions of doing anything, but somehow feel that talking about it month after month with no results is okay. If you want to drive me to the edge of insanity, this is a good way to do it. All that talking sounds great in the moment, but we both know it's never going to happen because there's zero strategy involved. I'll say it again, knowledge without properly applied actions is meaningless. Since the individual lacks self-discipline, he's not going to take the time to learn what needs to be learned in order to build a solid game plan. Instead, people like this will continue talking just to make noise. There's never anything of importance coming out their mouth, but it's a good way to fill the silence in the room. Because the more they talk, the less time they'll have to work on themselves, which gives them more time to avoid personal responsibilities. Did you learn something today? I hope you did, because I had to dig deep within my mind to come up with this list of problems. And on a side note, I have struggled with every one of these issues at some point in time, but just not as dramatic as others, but still it was a problem that needed to be fixed. So, with that said, if you found the video helpful, leave me a like or a comment on the way out for the algorithm. Thanks for watching. See ya in the next one.